welcome back to my channel. My name is Lori and I'm the face behind Entretejidos Crochet. Today's video is everything I made in the month of June, and we have a lot of plushies to go through. The way that I'm going to organize this video is that we'll start with patterns that I tested for, then we'll move over into patterns that I've been wanting to make but just haven't gotten around to, so we'll go through those as well. These are patterns that might have been in my stash for a bit and I finally got around to making them. And the last category will be patterns that I have designed and are in the process of being released, or they are already released. All of the links for the patterns that we will see today will be linked in the description box below. Most of these patterns are made with Premier Yarn's Parfait Chunky yarn. Mostly. If I've used a different sort of yarn, I will mention it, but just know that most of the yarn that I use is from Premier Yarns, be it basix chenille, be it Parfait Chunky. I do have an affiliate link that if you click on it and do place an order through that link, I do earn a little bit of a commission. Now that we got all of that housekeeping out of the way, let's look at pretty plushies. These patterns aren't in any sort of particular order. I'm just pulling them out. But the first one that I wanted to get out and like show you all is the Sun-Kissed Shells blanket pattern by Jelly Donut Knits. My blanket measures 33.5 by 33.5. It is 4 squares across and 4 squares down, plus the border is, it's just gorgeous. I'm sorry, it's just gorgeous. And I made this blanket because I've tried to be on this like lovey making kick. So I've wanted to have like this blanket to serve as like a backdrop or background for when taking lovey pictures. I do take pictures of my loveys outside, but this blanket is just going to be perfect for laying them down because it just looks like so cute and so endearing to see them all like laid down, kind of like all cozy up on a blanket. So I finally have my lovey taking pictures, my lovey picture taking blanket. Oh my goodness, my brain does not work today. The blanket was made with worsted weight yarn from Premier Yarns. I used the color Taffy, Carolina Sky, Wisteria. Actually no, this one is Thistle and this one is Mint, and the border is made in crepe. I also tested Lily Fern Crochet's Lovey Doll patterns. This one is in the watermelon variation and this one is in the dragon fruit variation. She also has the strawberry one, which I did grab and I hope to make soon now that I finally have some red blanket yarn back there. These two cuties are amazingly fast to work up and they're just like so adorable and so huggable. I did not, at the moment that I was making these, I did not have red. So that's why we went for like a pink watermelon sort of look for the watermelon variation. Next, I pattern tested Crochet with Hooks Summer Seahorse pattern. These I used this one is Basix Chenille, this one is Bernat Blanket. But just look at the amount of detailing on those. These are entirely no-sew. They work up pretty quick considering all the little details that you have to make on them. You need this pattern for sure. You need all of these patterns. The next pattern that I tested was the Splooting Digby Dashin. The pattern is by S&H Handmade. He is huge. Look at that little body. Well, not little, but adorable body. I ended up using 3 different colors of yarn because I overestimated his size and had to add a few more colors just to make sure that I had enough yarn to finish him. I may be biased because we do have a Dachshund mix, but Dachshunds or Dachshunds are the most adorable doggies out there. I said what I said. Other pattern that I tested was the Lotus Snail pattern by Handmade Crochet by AV. This is just so amazing. I love how AV makes the flowers. About a year ago, I went on a binge on making all of her turtle flower patterns. I did not finish all of them, but I did get through a few of them. Just look at that. And it's a snail, look. Most of these have embroidered eyes because I ran out of solid black safety eyes and I haven't placed an order for them yet. And the last pattern that I finished, that I tested, I finished literally on June 30th, was the T Historic Parasaurolophus by Yarnaholic Sociopath. This dinosaur has a lot of details. It is mostly no-sew. I believe, if I recall correctly, the only thing you sew on is this little crest up here. The rest is just worked as you are working it up. If you want your brain to be tickled while you're making these amazing cuties, check out Yarnaholic Sociopath's patterns because they are. We're using the same stitches that we always use, but we just work with them differently. So yeah. So all of these are the patterns that I tested for. Considering other months, I did not test a lot of patterns in June, mainly because I was trying to focus on getting my patterns out, all designed and everything. So I did have to like cut back on applying for tester calls. Now, the other reason is that I also wanted to start using up the patterns that I have in my stash. And that's the category that we're going to go in right now. Starting off this section strong, we have a lot of loveys because, as I mentioned, I've been on a lovey making kick. So first off, we have Darcy Dandelion. This pattern is a plushie pattern, but I made it into a snuggler by leaving the body unstuffed. The pattern is by Crochet by Bex, and it's one of 4 patterns that you get in one pattern pack. And she recently released the other pattern pack where you can make, I believe it's a tulip. I don't know, but I'll link it down below just in case you want to make your own garden snugglers or garden plushies. I also made Monroe Mushroom. The pattern is by ND Made. And just look at this little cutie. Look at that little buddy that he has in his pocket. I also made, this one is by Lillian Fern. This is May Mouse. It's a plushie, but I left the body unstuffed and turned it into a snuggler. This is another one of those patterns where it's like, oh my goodness, like the attention to detail to get it to look like that is just amazing. And just look at those little boots. Like, come on, adorable. Our 4th lovey or snuggler pattern that I made in June is Itty Gentry Giraffe. The pattern is by BK Crochet? The pattern is by BK Crochet, and just look at how tiny she is. And that like headband is like, bring on the sass, right? And I finally got around to making Baby Della Duck. I made her in a mallard version because I did not have enough yarn to make her in like a solid color. But I'm not mad. I mean, she's just too adorable. Look at that. So I very much gave in to making loveys. I did finish 6 lovey patterns, and this is the last one. This is Sunday Puppy. And even though she technically is a snuggler, I did slightly stuff the body so that she's like, you know, very squishy. But just look at how adorable she is. The flower is not included in the pattern. This is just something that I freehanded because I've been trying to work through my stash, so I wanted to add this like variegated purple yarn from Bernat blanket. So I added it in the flower, I added it here, and in the spot in the back. But just look at that little face. It's just too cute. So those were 6 patterns that were in my stash that I finally got to work through. I did purchase a few more, but hey, at least I'm working through them. They're not just sitting in my stash for right now. Now we're moving on to the part of the video where I show you patterns that I designed in June, or that I worked on in June, but it's patterns, they're my patterns. I really hope that makes sense. But we're going to start off small in size because the others I need to show you are on the big side. First up, we have Bobby Butterfly. This one is made in Premier's Pixie Dust, and this one is made with Parfait Chunky, and these patterns will be available for purchase on July 8th. So hopefully at the time that you are watching this video, they'll be released over the next couple of days. But if you participate in the market prep crochet along, which I'll link down below, you can get these patterns for free if you complete all the steps in the market prep crochet along. So these are Bobby Butterflies. In that same crochet along, we are going to be making a Beckett bee. I keep saying Bennett, but it's Beckett bee. This one, it's made with like Bernat blanket and basix chenille. And for the wings, I triple stranded Kyla's Crafts with Little Bunny and eyelash yarn from Premier Yarns to make those wings like so fluffy. I also made a Mason Moth, and in fact I'm working on another one, and he's going to be huge. This is a wing for that other Mason Moth. Like, it's basically the same size. So I'm excited for that. I hope to continue working on it today. So we have Mason Moth. Just look at that. Like, it's like, look at that. And then we have 2 Finnick Fireflies. Their butts light up. So I used glow-in-the-dark yarn for it. The original Finnick Firefly has neon colored yarn for the tushy, which kind of like glows every single time. You don't have to wait for the yarn to charge so that it lights up, but just look. Another one of my patterns that I kind of went down the rabbit hole making a whole bunch of. The whole idea was just to make one dinosaur, but we ended up making 7 different dinosaur mods. Some of them I've already showed you in the Everything I Made in May video, but here are the others that I did work on in the month of June. All of these patterns are available in one pattern pack. You can make 7 different dinosaurs with just one pattern, and it's my Danny Dino pattern pack. I am trying to work through and adding each of the patterns individually. However, you do get a lot of bang for your buck if you buy the pattern pack. Most of my patterns are $4.25 if sold like singularly. In the pack, you for $18.95 if I'm not mistaken, you get 7 patterns. If I were to sell, which I am, but if you were to buy all of the patterns individually, it'd be almost $30 if I'm mathing correctly. $30 if you do it, because it's 4 times 7, it's already $28, you know. So it's a lot of worth if you do buy the pattern pack. You don't have to buy the pattern pack, I'm just letting you all know. The OG, I managed to make another OG. This is the pattern that started it all. This is Danny Dino in the Parasaur Parasaur or Parasaurolophus mod. I love the colors together. This is classic blue and goblin. Then I was playing around with surface stitches and we got the Entresaurus. It's named after Entre Tejidos, so it's the Entresaurus. I did set out to make an Ankylosaurus, but I don't know. It doesn't look a whole lot like the Ankylosaurus, but then again, it kind of does, but I don't know. So these are two dinosaurs that I made. I also made the T-Rex variation for the Danny Dino, and he got this little like neck band to make him all like cutesy. We also got the Stegosaurus version done. You know me, I need to pick at the fluffies whenever I see them. So I was able to make the Stegosaurus variation. Then the final dinosaur that we added to the mix was the Dilophosaurus. Even though I know they're not like that in real life, they were just made with the crest for the Jurassic Park movie, still. But look at this cutie. And then we have a Triceratops. This pattern pack, you have the base body pattern, and in order to make all the different variations, you either sew on the different parts or you surface crochet them on to get these different dinosaurs. So if you want to make your real life Dilophosaurus, you can just leave the crest off. But that is all that I was able to make in June. Quite a bit for sure. And I'm just interested in seeing what July has to hold in terms of what I'm able to get done. I know for a fact that June might have a bunch of bugs that I'm going to have to show you all, but we love cutesy pudgy bugs here. So if you liked today's video where I showed you everything that I made in a month, please consider subscribing to my channel, liking the video, commenting down below. Check out the description box for all the patterns because these patterns are worth it. You need these patterns in your stash. And that's it for today. I will see you back soon with another video. Take care. Bye.